Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 113 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. Now, this is only my second year ever running. Within the first year, 2020, I was able to run 1,001 miles in 175 days. So this second year is a 25% step up in miles and a 100% step up in the amount of days I will be running. For day 113 today, I decided to get out there and try to get a little bit of a variation in. Instead of doing the same 3.6 I've been doing for the past couple weeks, I decided to do 3.25 today. I went out and got on a trail and just got outside, enjoyed the nature today. It was a pretty nice day out as well. Last few days have been a little bit cold, wet, and today it warmed up enough where the trail was dry and sun was beating where I was able to wear the tank, some shorts, and get the trail shoes on, pump out a quick 5K, get some dinner, and head home. So that's what I did, and after today's 3.25 mile run, for the week, that left me off at 17.8, and I try to get a bare minimum of 25 miles per week, but the ultimate goal is 33 miles, sometimes even more. This week it's to do more, but right now I'm sitting at 17.8, planning on trying to pump out possibly a 20 mile run tomorrow, also on the trail. So hopefully tomorrow will be around 37.8, and then that'll be right around the most I've ever done. And then including the Sunday run that I will be doing after, we'll see how many miles we end up with on the week. But right now I'm sitting at 17.8, and that puts us at 106.5 for the month. And that being said, guys, if you've been following along, you know that every single month I do a 100-mile challenge, and I do this because in order to hit my yearly goal, I realized I would have to average just over 100 miles every month, and I decided that if I'm going to do that anyways, I might as well do a 100-mile challenge every month and do it in honor of different charities and try to raise money and awareness for these charities every month. In January, February, and March, we were able to raise money for 3 different charities: the American Cancer Society, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. We were also able to pump out 104 miles the first month, 133 the second month, 125 the third month. Now we are sitting here in the fourth month. We are 106.5 miles in, 23 days into the month. So we have completed the 100-mile challenge for the month. But the donations are still coming in, and we, for this month of April, the fundraiser is, for the month of April is Autism Awareness Month. So I wanted to do a fundraiser that reflected on that. So for the fundraiser for April, we are raising money for Autism Speaks. You can make the donation to Autism Speaks on the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook story. You'll find the link to do that, as well as my personal pages, Instagram and Facebook story. You'll find a link that'll take you to the Facebook fundraiser where you can donate money, and all donations that get made to this fundraiser goes directly to the fundraiser. I get 0%. Facebook gets 0%. That's why I keep doing these fundraisers specifically through Facebook, is because they don't take a cut, which I really enjoy. That we're going to be able to raise money for all these charities, and they're going to get every single penny that we raise. So here we are in the month of April, raising money for Autism Speaks. Like I said, you can find the link on the Defining Discipline Instagram and the Defining Discipline Facebook stories, as well as the link on my personal pages, Instagram, and my personal pages, Facebook story. So other than that, guys, we've talked about day miles, which is 3.25. We've talked about week miles, which is 17.8. We've talked about month miles, which is 106.5. Now let's talk about yearly miles. We are 471.4 miles down, guys. It's real exciting after today. Just watching get closer and closer and closer to the halfway mark. And we're not even really that close to the halfway mark of the actual, I guess we're a month away from the halfway mark of the actual year, a couple months away. But we're really inching and getting ahead of ourselves on these miles. So depending on how things go within these next couple months, we might even push the mileage for the year up to 1,500. So we'll see. Currently, we're still sitting at 1,250, and the mileage we're sitting at accomplished so far is 471.4 out of 113 days consecutively running. So, other than that, guys, let's kind of just get into today's episode. Something I want to talk about, and we'll just get right into it. So today, for episode 113, today's theme and what we're going to talk about for today is going to be foolish. Or just fool. I think we all tend to be very, very foolish. I especially in my life have always tended to be very, very foolish, not really thinking things through and kind of really not learning from things that from my mistakes. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. I think we're very, very foolish as a society, and I think we're very egotistical, where we all think. I think the most foolish thing we do is we think that we are right, and we feed our egos by getting in these groups that feed our egos. We feed our egos with the things that just boost them and make them bigger and make us think that we are right and we are wrong, and then all this conflict comes up. And I think it's just a really foolish thing that we really do. And we've all been foolish, like I said, and it's something that I try to work on every single day. I try to remember that I don't really have any answers. I mean, there's things obviously that I do know, but even the things that I do know, I mean, I could be wrong. How many times I couldn't even tell you how many times I was dead set. How many times in life where I've been dead set that I knew something and that I was right, and I was wrong. And not only was I foolish because I was wrong and I thought I was dead set on I was being right. There was even times when that happened and I found out I was wrong, and I still stuck to my guns and fought for being wrong, even though I was wrong, which was even more foolish than just owning up and admitting, well, man, I am an idiot. I was wrong. So there's lots of foolish things that we continue to do day in and day out. And, I don't think we really think of the effect that these things have. And something that I've always, throughout the episodes, I've always continued to ring back on is interest and compounding interest, and how it works both ways. And whatever you continue to put out and continue to do over and over and over again, you're going to continue to spiral down that path. And the more foolish you are and the more stubborn you are to your foolishness, the farther you're going to fall down that path. So that's something that I've been really, 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 really trying to have been working on these past few years. And this is more of a mental thing, I guess, and just it's a personal thing that I think that I've been working on. I think it's something that we all need to work on as individuals. We need to focus on the foolish things that we continue to do and the foolish decisions we make, and how contributing to being foolish and thinking, oh well, it's okay to be foolish once or twice, and not seeing and not realizing. Yes, I get the idea that it's okay to do it once or twice, but not realizing the path that you're sending yourself down to just say once or twice. And we all know how that works. When you give yourself a little bit of room on anything, you start to give yourself a little bit. Well, I'll just do it, just a couple times. I'll be fine. What's the next thing you always notice that happens when you start doing that? Me for video games. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna play video games for like 30 minutes. I'm just giving myself 30 minutes. That's it. I'll get back to the other things I can do. 2 days later, bloodshot eyes, haven't slept maybe 3 hours total, staring at a TV. I think when we try to be lenient on things that we do, oh, it's okay. I think we start to just, again, compound interest. We start to fall farther and farther and farther down that path. And, some people may not care. And I get that. But I think as a society as a whole, if we all really focused on the foolish things that we do as individuals to sabotage our own lives and other people's lives that we know and other people's lives that we don't even know. Like, there's so many things that we do just in spite because of dumb things that happen. I mean, we have all been foolish at different points in our lives, and I think the best thing that we can do is to really try to own up to the foolishness that we have done and the foolishness that we're going to continue to do, because we are human. We are not perfect. We will never be perfect. We can strive our hardest, and that's all that we can do, and that's all that I'm trying to do, and that's all I'm asking in this podcast for everyone to try to do, is try to be as perfect as possible. But everyone I know is going to slip up. We're all going to slip up. We're all going to have problems and things that occur that we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to have the perfect life that we dream and that we are reaching for. But the best thing to do, even knowing that we'll never be able to attain that perfection, is to still have it as a goal, to still try. I mean, just to give up and to think I don't even need to go for it or even to try that is foolish within itself, guys. I mean, there's so many foolish things that we do on a day-to-day basis that we can change. And that's something, again, that I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to really focus on the daily things I do every single day that are foolish. And I'm trying to really pick at them and really alter my life. And I need to pay more attention to it. I need to pay more attention to these foolish things that I'm doing, and stop getting lost so much and focus on the things that I need to focus on and I need to attend to, and stop being so damn foolish. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to talk about foolishness and the things that we do to become fools. We all act like fools within our lives. But before I let you go, I do need to give you your daily discipline, but I want to leave you here with a couple quotes from a few people about foolishness, about being a fool. And I think these quotes really hit hard with me. So I do want to share them. I think maybe you guys may also get the same imagery, and maybe they'll affect you the same way, and maybe they will send off the same message that I was just trying to send throughout this episode. So the first one is by an author, Ray Bradbury. This is actually a quote from one of his books, The Illustrated Man. So, we're all fools, said Clemens, all the time. It's just we're a different kind each day. We think, I'm not a fool today. I've learned my lesson. I was a fool yesterday, but not this morning. Then tomorrow, we find out that yes, we were a fool today, too. I think the only way we can grow and get on in this world is to accept the fact that we're not perfect and live accordingly. This really hits hard because just like I said, I think we are in that thing where we think that, I'm not a fool today. I've learned my lesson from being a fool, but I think we're going to continuously always be fools. But the thing to do is to continuously evaluate the foolish things that we're doing and to try to continuously learn your lesson. Within that quote too, it talks about to accept the fact that we're not perfect, but to live accordingly. Yes, accept the fact that we're not perfect, but to live accordingly is to still try to be perfect. It's still to learn your lessons from the foolish things that you've done the day before, and to continue to try to learn your lessons, and to realize that no matter how many times and how many lessons and how many things you've learned, to never be so full of yourself that you think that you will no longer be foolish, because we will always be foolish. We will always make mistakes, but to still aim for that perfection. So another quote is from a British philosopher, Bertrand Russell, and here it is. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. This really hit me, and again, I think it's the same thing. I think, like he said, the problem with the world is that we have all these fools and these fanatics and all these people that are so certain and they're so positive that they're right and this is what's going on, especially nowadays with all of this conspiracy theories and the left and right, and we're so divided as a country and just as people, and our communication skills have just been broken down because of the internet. Yes, we can communicate very well through text and through emails and through stuff like that, but our just like our actual one-on-one, person-to-person communication skills are just like in the toilet. And even with COVID, I feel like they've even gone farther down the toilet. But with that being said, that's where we're just at now as a culture, where we just all these crazy things are going on, and all these people are so fanatic about stuff, and they're so foolish about things, but they're the ones that are so certain of themselves. And I just feel like the most grounded people in these situations, though, they're the ones that are actually filled with doubt. They're the ones that are questioning themselves. They're the ones that aren't so certain of the things that's going on. They're the ones that are asking the questions. And so that's another great quote that I really like, that was about foolish people. So here's the last quote I have. It is by the writer Dostoevsky, and here it is. A fool with a heart and no sense is just as unhappy as a fool with sense and no heart. Now, this is something that really hit me. Um, because I felt I was the latter for the longest time. Um, and I guess what he's really saying here, if you don't understand, is both these people are fools. Okay, but a fool with heart, someone who has meaning, who's doing it for the right thing, the right cause. Um, maybe they don't have all the brains in the world. Maybe they're not the smartest people. Maybe or the smartest person, but they have the right intentions. And yes, they may be foolish, like again because they're not very smart. And but again, their mind and their heart is in the right place. Um, you know, they will still have a hard time though, like I said, because they're not very smart. Um, you would think that the opposite, the fool, who is very smart, but has no heart, basically, who does things um, selfishly, or does things not for the greater good, or does things that isn't very meaningful, just does things maybe for money and not because he has a passion for it, whatever the case may be. Um, they're both going to be fools, and they're both going to probably have the same amount of happiness. I think it's almost worse to be a fool um, with no heart. I think, and again, I think that was something that um, I felt I was for a long time. I guess I think maybe I felt in a little bit of ladder of both. I think there was a part of my time, part of my life where I had a lot of heart, but I really wasn't smart about things. And then I got into the point where I was just really trying to be very expedient and just see results as quick as possible. Um, so I was doing things that I really wasn't passionate about. I was just trying to get rich quick, I guess you would think so, or you would say. But I just think those were some really good quotes about foolishness and fools, um, and I thought they were very relevant, all in their own little ways. So, just wanted to leave you guys with that, and I'm going to actually leave you guys with your daily discipline. So, for the day, your daily discipline is going to be foolishness. It's going to be really think about those places where you're being a fool. Um, or really think about it. Are you being a fool? Are you fanatic about certain things? Um, what are the things that you are being foolish about in your life? What are the things that you can change and you can address that would make you a little bit wiser and a little bit better in general overall? Um, so the daily discipline for the day is to really figure out where you have been and are being foolish within your life, and really try to figure out what you can do to change that. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is episode 113. It's actually getting pretty late, almost 10:30 p.m. So hopefully this episode will get uploaded in time. It's a little bit longer. Started a little bit later today, and just had a overall long day. Kind of tired. So thank you guys so much for listening. Episode 113 now in the books. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 114 of the Defining Discipline podcast. I am your host, Scott. If you guys can, please be sure to give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platforms you guys listen on. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for listening. This is episode 113, Foolishness. I will see you again tomorrow for episode 114. Stay disciplined. Peace out. Get your daily discipline done. figure out where you're being foolish, quit doing it.